Podcasting is one of my favorite marketing tools. I love chatting. I love to waffle on a little bit. I like places where I can really communicate on a deeper level with people, where it's not just like a 60-second short or a 30-second short or reel or whatever it is. I like a place where I feel like people can get to know me as well as what I do in my business. And that's how I've always viewed podcasting, more as a like connection tool. And I also see it as a marketing tool in terms of selling my services. So when I launched Robin Rose Creative, I knew that part of the long-term marketing strategy would be to launch a podcast. And I didn't do it immediately because I wanted to get my socials up and running. I wanted to sort my email marketing out first, but I knew that I wanted a podcast this year. And I really thought about what I wanted the strategy with the podcast to be and how I wanted it to be structured, because I'm a strategy person. Like, I like to have a meaning behind everything that I do. Launching a podcast to me is a really exciting thing to do. However, it has to be a useful tool in my business rather than something that's going to require a lot of time and energy and effort from me without it delivering me results. So the strategy behind my podcast is it's very much seasonal, just like the way I structure my business and I structure my offers. So I have an offer called the Robin Intensive, and that is a 90-day bespoke content strategy done for you so that you know exactly what to post for 90 days. And then 90 days later is the quarterly refresh, where I review everything and then redo the strategy for the next 90 days. And that's the case for my entire business. And I wanted my podcast to reflect the way that I run my business as well. So there will be seasonal drops. This isn't going to be an evergreen podcast. And the reason it's not going to be an evergreen podcast is because I know myself well enough now to know that I get really excited about things when they first launch, and I get super enthusiastic and I can produce content like it's going out of fashion, and then I burn the fuck out. And I have done this many, many times. So I know that it is not realistic for me to create a podcast for myself that is going to require me to show up weekly, that is going to require me to manage guests and stuff like that. It's not for me. I know my capacity, and I know my capacity doesn't suit weekly posting. So there will be 4 seasonal drops a quarter. Wait, no. There will be 4 quarterly drops every year, and each season is going to be 6 parts, and these 6 episodes are going to be very intentional. And just like I talk about in content in general, every episode is a brick in the content foundation. So every episode is going to be valuable as a standalone episode, but it's also going to have a compounding effect over time. So if somebody decides to binge the first 6 episodes as soon as it comes out, they can absolutely do that. But if somebody finds me in a year's time, they're going to have a backlog of episodes that complement each other, that have compounding results. They are going to be a valuable tool, and each episode is going to play its role. It's not just a case of me showing up with a microphone and thinking, okay, what am I going to say today? There is a purpose behind every episode, and that is something that I'm going to talk about more in an upcoming episode. So if you want to follow along the journey from concept to launching a podcast in 30 days, then make sure you're following the Podcast Diaries, and I will see you in the next one.